Okay, so welcome to lesson 9.3a. We are going to factor trinomials today, which basically means we're going to unfoil these trinomials. So if you remember before, whenever we would foil something, and let's just pick something here to foil. If we did this, we'd have x squared. Okay, so we have x squared, which is our first two multiplied together, and then we will do our outer 2, which will be plus 4x, and then our inner, which is minus 3x, and then our last, which is negative 3 times 4, which is negative 12. And then we combined like terms in the middle, and we ended up with a trinomial. And so now we're going to start with the trinomial, and we're going to go backwards to come up with the factors. So if the way that we do this is, look at our problem we have here, x squared plus 9x plus 14. The way we need to think about this is we need to find factors of 14 that sum to 9. Okay, so where did I get this from? So let's take a look. So we look here. Okay, so the numbers that we're looking for have to be factors of 14 that add up to 9. So you can start off just by listing the factors of 14, and you say, okay, well, factors of 14 are 1, 2, 7, and 14. Okay, and you probably really should put them as pairs. Like, it probably would have been better if I had done 1 and 14 and then 2 and 7, and then I can compare the two pairs and say, okay, which of these add up to 14, or excuse me, multiply together to be 14, but add up to 9. And so clearly then, it's this pair right here, 2 and 7. 2 times 7 is 14, and they add up to 9. 2 plus 7 is 9. So from there, all I need to do is I'm going to open up two different sets of parentheses, okay? And on the inside, I'll put x plus 2 and x plus 7. Okay, now I could check that by going ahead and foiling it, but this is really my final answer here. Okay, if I want to do a check, I'll go ahead and foil this and see if I get back x squared plus 9x plus 14 after I foil this. Okay, so let's do that. Let's see, we have x times x, which is x squared, x times 7, which is 7x, 2 times x is 2x, and then 2 times 7 is 14, and sure enough, yes, this adds up to x squared plus 9x plus 14, so that matches what we started with, and therefore it checks. Okay, now like I said, really when you do these, you could stop right here. You don't need to keep going and do the check, but if you want to do the check to make sure that you found the right factors, foil the factors and see if you get the original problem back. If you do, if this matches this, then you're good and you did it correctly. Okay, we'll go to the next page and we'll do another example, and this time we'll throw in some minus signs in there so you see what that's like. Okay, so let's try one. This is actually off of your worksheet. It's going to be x squared plus 6x minus 16. Okay, and we're going to do this the same way. We're going to come up with factors of, this time, a negative 16 because of the minus sign right here, in that add up to 6. Okay, so now this time, the last time I knew it was going to be positive numbers, positive factors, so I only listed the positive factors, but now we really need to list both positive and negative numbers because of the fact that we want factors of a negative 16. So let's do that. We could, factors of negative 16, we could have 1 and negative 16, or negative 1 and 16. We could have negative 2 and 8, or 2 and negative 8. We could have 4 and a negative 4. Okay, so those are the different possibilities of factors of negative 16. Now, let's figure out which one of these add up to 6. Okay, well, let's go down the list. So 1 plus negative 16, well, that's negative 15, so that's not it. Negative 1 plus 16 is a positive 15, and that's not it. Negative 2 plus 8, yeah, that's 6, so we found it. Okay, so our factors, or numbers that we're looking for, is this pair that I circled, negative 2 and 8, because that adds up to 6, and it multiplies together to be negative 16. Okay, and just to make sure you understand where I'm getting these numbers from, we have to do factors of negative 16, because that's what c is. Okay, it's x squared plus bx plus c. So c is negative 16, so I have to find factors of negative 16. The 6 comes from right here, the b. So it's always that, they have to multiply together to be that, and add together to be this. Okay, now that I've found those, let's go ahead and then open up our parentheses, and we're going to put x minus 2 and x plus 8 in here, because those were the numbers that multiplied together to be negative 16 and added together to be 6. Okay, once again, you're done. Okay, you can stop right there. If you want to do a check, you could check. Okay, and we would FOIL by doing the first 2 and getting x squared, by doing the outside 2 and getting 8x, by doing the inner 2 and getting negative 2x, and then the last 2 and getting negative 16. So that's x squared plus 6x minus 16. And there you go. That checks, that matches the original problem. Okay, so that's how all of these are going to work on this page. Just be careful when you get down to like number 18, they just put it in a reverse order. They didn't put the y squared first, so you're going to have to kind of just change the order around. Actually, number 9, it looks like they did the same thing. They've got them in a weird order, so just put them in the right order before you start. And that's really about it. That's what you will do today, and I will see you soon.